Hello YouTube, this is Terrible Gamer, and well, I'm doing this video a bit different to last time. This is Castle Crashers Part 2, and usually I record my gameplay and voice at the same time. This time, I thought I'd mix things up a bit, you know, try out some different techniques as far as videos go. I've done the gameplay, now I'm recording my microphone. So to start off, we've just got some more generic stuff, just you know, more Jason fanboys, and then the first boss again, as you can see here. Completely failed that first part, obviously. Yeah, the saving system in Castle Crashers, it's not all that great. I mean, you know, each level or stage or whatever is split up into like 2 or 3 parts. If you're on a part and you know, save and exit, you have to do it all over again. It's not like most new games where it's basically, okay, save and quit, and then continue, pick up where you left off. Which, honestly, I think, you know, as someone who is quite bad at gaming usually, and someone who could use more practice gaming, I think it's kind of a good thing, because it means you get to warm up a bit and you get a bit extra practice in. So, you know, I've been watching a couple of videos lately on that, on how, you know, basically now from 20 years ago, video games have just got so much easier. And I don't think that's always the case, but, you know, I can see their point. I mean, you know, if it ever gets requested, and maybe if it doesn't, I could always look up some old games to play. I mean, for me personally, I was never into gaming much as a kid, even though I love it now. But I'm sure I could find some old, you know, like SNES games maybe, you know, Super Nintendo, maybe some, I don't know, N64, and just have a look for some popular games that are just hard as hell, and, you know, have a go at playing those. I was thinking, actually, I might see if I can get a copy of Contra, which is said to be one of the best shooting games of its time, but also quite difficult. Not for any common problems back then, like any kind of flaws in the game, but more for the skill involved. Castle Crashers, on the other hand, it's, I don't know, I'd say for me it's about right, actually, because, you know, a lot of games for me, they either start off too hard, or they start off too easy, and then you get to a certain level and it's too hard. Castle Crashers, once you're about halfway through the game, it does get pretty hard, in my opinion, but the game's long enough that you can sort of get used to it, and there's also that whole leveling up thing, which, you know, you can see in basically any game these days. So Castle Crashers, I'd have to say, not that difficult as far as games go. I think when I did save and exit last time, I killed a few more enemies, and I got the chance to level up my character a bit. And here we see our first real boss. Here he is. Nope. Here's our first boss. Now, if I remember right, it actually took me quite a while to kill this guy. I don't know why. I mean, I've killed him a few times before. I think I was just having an off day on this one. But I think we get to see some of the magic attack now, which I've never really used in this playthrough. I've played through Castle Crashers a few times. You know, I tried it out on Xbox one night and tried out a few different characters. This was a while ago. I think the only real difference between the characters is that they're all a different colour, you know, one's blue, one's orange, one's red, etc. And they all seem to have a slightly different magic attack. Now this blue guy who I'm playing with, I haven't used him much beforehand. I will say his magic attacks I'm not that impressed with, but they are kind of useful. Now this boss, as you can see, very generic, just sort of, you know, like free attacks that you get a chance to dodge. He'll spawn the occasional enemy, just leveled up again. The boss fights are pretty simple. Well, one good thing about this, each boss fight is slightly different, and I believe I ended this recording on the boss after this, so we will get to see, you know, how the first and second boss sort of compare to each other. So I can't remember how much I talked of game mechanics in the last episode. Oh, huge treasure box. Yeah, basically you have money and food. Food heals you. Money you can use in shops near the start of the game, but more so when you really get into it. So it's always good to keep collecting all that gold and gems. Nice bit of a make-out session there. Kill count 60, gold 160, blah blah blah. As you can see, I leveled up my magic quite a bit between the last take. I think, did I? Yep, leveled it up a little bit more, as well as some strength. So the 4 stats in this, you have strength for how powerful your melee attacks are. You have magic, you have agility, which is mainly to do with archery. Here we see our first mounted combat, which from what I remember you don't see too often. As I was saying, you know, agility, I never use that. Defense can be useful, it gives you a bit more health, better blocking I think, but as you can probably tell at this point, I basically never use that. So, yeah, those big guys, they can be pretty tough, but it's strange. I seem to have some trouble with the boss, but then I get to this bit, which I usually find harder. And okay, somehow I'm kind of jinxing myself. I did okay on this bit. You know, in the past, I have actually died a couple of times on this bit. I think this time I was just maybe, I really don't know, maybe more focused, or, you know, maybe, like they say, it's just practice makes perfect. The dinosaur I really enjoy. I have to say, this is probably one of my favourite parts of the early game. I mean, I've only really seen like the first 5 levels of this, but maybe we'll get more into it later. Now these archers can be a pain, but with the dinosaur I seem to breeze through them pretty easily. Except now. So, yeah. You just have to watch out for when they get on the dinosaur, because that heavy attack I'm doing, where you bite with the dinosaur, that hits pretty hard, even on you. Okay, got a new weapon at this point. A weapon I actually haven't seen before until, you know, until this footage, really. Okay, so, more baddies. We're pretty early into the year still. I mean, as of recording this, it's, what, like the 10th of January? I don't know, I mean, it's the 10th of January, but, I haven't been sleeping all that well lately, so I tend to lose track sometimes. So more princesses being taken away. Baddies disguised as Bush. No, not George Bush, just a General Bush. Now these bits, Little bit graphic, really funny. I don't know if you can tell, but you know, there's sort of vibrating going on in the video, and that's because basically it's sort of hinting at the end boss, which you get a sneak peek at later. Check the chest. Okay, maybe not. Check the chest now. Got rid of those guys pretty quickly. I think I mentioned this in my first video. You know, I sort of asked the viewer at the end, just as a generic sort of question to get things moving, you know, what are your favourite medieval weapons? And I remember saying that one of mine was oversized warhammers. Exactly the kind of thing we see here. And more graphic pooping. I want to try and avoid things like grotesque language in this, just on the off chance there's any younger viewers, that is, on the off chance there's any viewers here. And also because, well, I don't know. I mean, in real life I do swear and things and be inappropriate quite a lot, but I don't really see it as appropriate for YouTube, just because of the wide sort of variety of people that use it, you know. Got a turkey there, even though I was on full health. Most of the food in Castle Crashers, pretty fruity stuff, cherries and, I don't know, bananas and things. The turkey, or whatever it is, restores you to pretty much full health. So, another new weapon. So yeah, a branch that, I've used it before. It's a branch that improves magic, decreases strength. Here we have some massive bear. But yeah, there will be more useful weapons later in the game, like that branch I picked up and then quickly got rid of again. They'll come in handy when I'm using more magic. And little bit of a spoiler alert, but one of the best weapons I've seen in this, from what I've played of it, is a okay, next boss. One of the best weapons I've seen in this so far is a I believe some kind of lightsaber that increases strength and magic a bit, I think. But yeah, this next boss, pretty sort of... Okay, what the hell is it? It's a furball pooping out furballs which try to kill you with sticks. I don't know, really weird. The boss himself, I don't think he actually attacks you, which is the weird thing. He just spawns an endless amount of, you know, enemies. I imagine this bit would be really good for XP grinding, because you could just leave the boss alone and kill these guys over and over, in theory. So, there we have the first boss of this stage. And, yeah, this is about it, so, I'll leave the video to finish, but, thanks for watching. See you next time. This is Terrible Gamer.